medical related. Got the top of it right here. Okay. Want to show you all of these. Some of them even have real estate included, okay, which we have to remove if we're really going to be accurate. But pharmacies, you name it, okay? Anything medical related. I could show you the other industries too. I could also show you what, $3 million should be buying if that was, what you were thinking. Because it'll buy a lot more profit than what we have at the moment. Adjusted net, let me do this. I'm going to say, show me everything that made over $100,000, $150,000. And I'm going to go Corona environment, the economy, anything that sold the last 2 years and 3 weeks or so that made over 100 grand in the medical field anywhere in Florida. Okay, sounds reasonable? Okay, sounds reasonable to me. 150,000 adjusted net. You fall into this category. You would fall in somewhere, we would remove these larger ones. But just so you can see it, I want you to see what I see every day and what the other agents see every day and why they would think we're overpriced every day, because we would be, okay? Here, sold price versus the adjusted net. To make $152,000, a buyer was willing to pay and a seller was willing to sell at 1.4 times earnings. 154 in profit, 1.8, right? 2.7, right? I have to look in there. Now, keep in mind, there's probably drugs included, inventory and such. So that kicks up the ratio. To make a medical clinic, to make 167, they gave about a half a year. 169, you get the idea. Here's 6. I would have to click on here and see if there was real estate included, okay? Same with this 3. That looks high to me. 700,000 to make 185, right? So here you have 1.5, 2, 3, 3. But even if you took the averages, now this one I'm going to remove because it's an outlier, okay? That's one out of all of them. There's probably real estate included. This one might have real estate in 2, but we can leave it, okay, just for argument's sake. 2.7, okay? 2.7, 2.5 when you remove that larger one. There are probably others. This one I could probably remove too. There's probably an awesome amount of equipment that was included. It looks like 5.76, but I'm not going to include this because you're not including $900,000 worth of equipment. So that'll bring down your 2.5. Okay, this is how it's done. It's 2.4 now. So if I took that out, right, it brings down the average again. Now you're at 2.3. Right? So if I kept doing that, and if I kept chiseling here, so let me go back and share with you. See, if I can't get an educated owner, I don't stand a chance, you don't stand a chance in ever selling, because this is not obvious to most people. This took me years and years and years to figure out. Here's the adjusted net. I'm not going to compare you to a 1 point, all these guys, they should come out. This is what buyers are looking to buy. This is the job that they want to own. They're going to buy a job, for lack of a better word. How many years are they going to work to buy that job? That's I mean, it's as simple as I know how to say it. 2.7. But if we start removing all these with the buildings, all these with higher earnings, to get into the community, like a house, right? If we're looking at a community, or horsepower, I like to say, of a car, right? Here, you're in the 275, so it's 100,000 more than you, and 150,000 less than you. All right, so 125 less than you. So let's just see. Here, you're back at 2.6, right? And here's your averages. We got to get rid of this bad boy. That's one's really bugging me. That's gonna drop down our average. So 2.35, right? And if I got rid of this medical equipment, right? That was one I was going to remove. That's a high flyer too. We don't have those kind of assets. But this is how I would do it. But I could remove this. You're not including all of those assets. So now you're down closer to 2 times earnings because you don't have the real estate. We don't have the building. Going to remove that one. Now that's going to bring down the average again. Okay, we're under 2 years earnings. But look at the days on market to achieve the average. It's 470 days. 87% down payment, 8% on average is rent. But if I went through each one of these and I pulled out the high flyers or the low flyers, the low adjusted net, right? I could do that too. Why is this only half a year, right? Well, he was making 167 and they sold it for 75. That's a little odd, okay? I don't know why. Maybe they only sold a partnership. I could look at that. But even if we left the low ones in, Okay, and I took out the ones that really don't apply to you. Like here, you're looking at 1.8. So unless you have 900, 800, 700, $600,000 worth of real estate, furniture, fixtures, heavy equipment, trucks, something that's going along with the profit, we're selling the 275. The question is, how many years is somebody going to work to make 275? Well, here it is. 1.5, 1.7, 2.7, half, 1.2. These are the averages. You got to remove it. You're not including that. Now you're down to 1.7. So I was right on target when I did my original evaluation of just either a medical practice or, so that was that. What sold in Florida medical that made over 150. Okay, we want to get rid of the smaller ones because that again will throw off the average. Here's the adjusted net. I'm going to do calculate. Sold price to adjusted net. There you are. So I'm going to remove that, and maybe there's another one in there hiding in there. But you came out to 1.48 for medical practices, right? Unless there's real estate, heavy equipment, machinery, or something really large asset-wise, that's what it is. And you can see how long it took to achieve the 1.48. So what's going to happen if we say 8 years earnings? What's going to happen? How are we going to look? Now, if I leave this off, and I put all 22 years of the association, right? All of these. There's 222 that we've sold. But just curiously, let's see if any of them ever sold for 8 years earnings. Sold price adjusted net. Oop, there's one. I'm not going to pull up the average. Well, all right, we can pull up the average here, but it's not going to be relevant. But guaranteed it's not 8. Here. The average of all of these is 2.5 years. Even with the real estate, even with the assets, even with everything. So you have to be less than 2.5. You have to be less than 2. I don't see it going any other way. I mean, listen, I'll do whatever you want. You can see the percentages. If I look at this, that doesn't count. This one's not going to count. I don't know if who you're speaking to is as behavioral, and that's got to go. These are just they're not comparable. It's just not comparable. What's relevant here is I want you to be understanding that this average includes a lot with assets. It kicks up that 2.5. If we had anything that said 8, we better be able to defend it. I think you're in this range and definitely lower. This would be your most optimal day because all these other people had to include millions of dollars worth of other assets. All right, goodbye. Thank you. I hope this helped.